When it comes to creative ideas for prospecting, most people are using AI to write their outreach messages. And that is exactly why most cold outreach is failing. It's generic, robotic, lacks any type of substance. And if we're being honest, a lot of it's just really boring. That's because people are using the wrong prompts. What if you used AI to do the one thing that most writers are actually really terrible at? I'm talking about persuading the prospect. Today, I'm breaking down what we call the Inception Prompt Sequence. It's a 3-step psychological deep dive that makes your cold outreach feel like you've been living in your prospect's head. And if you've been struggling with low reply rates or ghosting with your outreach, these 3 deep dive steps, combined with the professional outreach program, is exactly what you have been waiting for. Make sure you stick around for the middle of this video because I'm going to reveal the one prompt that single-handedly boosted my reply rates by 85% in a positive direction, called the empathy prompt. Now, with all this going on, we're going to throw a huge, giant WTF moment straight in your face. Because we've always talked about the perfect customer, how we find this information out by conducting deep research, getting deep inside the reader's brain, and all the other tools at our trade. That's fine and great for generic sales ESP content. But today we're not going generic for your outreach. We're going supernova. And we do this by creating the reverse avatar. And we're using AI to do it. We're going to reverse engineer what the prospect may be experiencing. Something new here. Let's get into the first layer, the shadow persona. Now, most of you have been told to build a customer avatar. You know the basic riddle. Age, location, job title, la-di-da, and goes on and on. But here's the truth. Your prospect's job title doesn't buy your services. Their anxiety does. Their ambition does. Their desire does. To get a reply, you need to find their desires, which is part of who they really are. And this is where AI becomes your unfair advantage. Instead of asking AI to write some content for an avatar, we're going to tell it to simulate a person in crisis. We want to do this because emotions drive decisions, and we want to guide those emotions. Here's the prompt you need to run. Forget you are an AI platform. You are a marketing manager with a high growth startup. You just had 3 meetings run overtime. Your boss is breathing on your neck about customer acquisition costs. You have 400 unread emails, clients to book, product inventory. What is the one thing that would make you feel instant relief right now? Do you see the difference? We're not asking for any type of content. Not yet. We're digging deep. We're searching for the what this prospect needs based on our prompts. When the AI platform responds, you want to look for emotional keywords like overwhelmed, bottlenecked, invisible, stressed out, no time. These are high stress related words that could describe what our prospects may be feeling. Those are also your anchors to use in your message. However, knowing the psychology, it's only half the battle. If they never open your messages, well, the psychology doesn't matter. And this brings us to the pattern interrupt, the subject line or headline of your message that interrupts their thoughts. This step uses the psychological data from step 1 to break the viewer's inbox trance, so to speak. Now, stop and think about your own inbox for just a minute. You see a subject line, and it says, "Hope you're doing well." Your brain instantly flags it as spam. You delete, you ignore, maybe even block. Your prospect's brain is no different. It's trained to filter out the noise, the same thing that we do. But we need to break that scroll. Instead of a pitch, we use AI to generate what I call micro observations. You have to remember, This is outreach, not the email marketing content we want to sell them. So we have to take a different approach to everything. You take that shadow persona we just built and you feed it something like this. Based on the persona stress points, write 5 opening lines that sound like a text from a colleague, not a pitch from a stranger. Remember, we talked about stress-related jobs just a minute ago. We're not looking for lines that start, just bland. We're looking for something mid-sentence there. The text, the meat of the sentence, something that draws their attention. You ask a specific insider question based on what they do, who they are, where they're located, what's happening around them. And we want them to think, wait a minute, how does this person know what my Tuesday looks like? That's getting deep inside the reader's brain. Use the same approach when creating subject lines for emails. We use the same thing too. By using AI to help generate multiple variations, we can pick and choose from what it provides us. We can ask again and again and again as we narrow our options down. Now, before I show you how to close the deal, we need to talk about the empathy path. The empathy path is what we want to take that prospect down. This is the secret sauce. Most creators just talk about the pain points, which is great for email marketing, not so great for outreach. But the empathy path, or gap, as it is referred to in marketing, is a difference between what your customer tells their boss, because that's what the boss wants to hear, and what they actually fear losing because of the stress. I wake up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. with a nightmare that woke them up and had them in a cold sweat. That's stress. Stress will do that to you. And these business people are normally stressed out about something or another. And it's us to find out what that is. When you bridge that gap, you aren't a freelancer, a copywriter, or a content provider anymore. You're not. You're throwing them a lifeline, the way out, a shiny beacon of direction in a fog-shrouded business day where they just can't focus on anything. And I'm going to show you exactly how to write that prompt in just a second. But first, we need to talk about the close. The biggest mistake I see inside the copy shop reviews is people closing with a high friction question that they get from all the other servers. Can we hop on a 30-minute Zoom call? That's not a call to action. No, that's like a homework assignment that no one wants to do. Instead, we're going to use AI to analyze the cost of an action. The stuff that could happen if they don't do a certain thing. And we have provided that rescue to them. This is a psychological principle called loss aversion, which we talked about before. You see, people will work twice as hard to avoid a loss than they will to achieve a gain. Now, run this prompt. This is something similar what you can do. Analyze the persona we created. If they don't solve their email conversion problem in the next 6 months, what is the specific nightmare scenario for their career? Summarize that into one persuading, punchy sentence for a PS line. We're getting the fear point here. That PS line is your closer. It's not a threat. It's a mirror for them to look into. It reminds them that the cost of saying no to you is higher than the cost of saying yes, which means we are able to help them avoid any loss. All right, as promised, here is the empathy gap reveal. The prompt is this: identify the empathy gap for this lead. What is the secret frustration they are too embarrassed to admit to their peers? And how does my solution solve that specific frustration? We're getting deep inside the reader's brain, just in a reverse engineering format. When you put all this data into your outreach messages, you stop being the service writer. You start becoming the mind reader. Like I said, they're going to wonder, how in the hell did you get in my head anyway? If you want to know exactly how to structure this info, into full cold email templates that you build, you own, that you can change and correct, and that exactly they get responses. You need to watch this video next. Now, just don't use AI to work faster. No. Use it to become more human, to identify the wants, needs, desires of our prospects and readers. Check out all the links below in the description box. And as always, thanks for being here.